everybody, it's the TheT-SaneOtaku here, and I'm back for another video. And this is the video that I was talking about that I was trying to make, and I didn't really know how I was going to do it, and so I've been thinking about it, and I finally was able to think of a way that, with my knowledge of how to make videos, that I would make it with, you know, a clear mind. And so, if you haven't read the title already, this video is going to be about all the decks that I own. I'm going to be saying, you know, what they are, a little bit about them. If there's any story behind them, I'll say that too. I'll try not to make it too sappy, you know, because pretty sure you guys aren't here to go and hear all this sappy, you know, girly stuff. So, I guess we'll just get right into it. The first deck I have right here is, it's a simple deck, and it's one that I kind of find as a joke. It's not really meant to be, you know, a serious deck. It's my Dimensional Police deck. This is not my main deck. This is, of course, you know, just one of my off ones. But my goal is to make every deck from Stargate, and I'll explain that in a little bit in one of my later decks. But right now, I am running the Dimensional Robo variant, not to its fullest degree, because, you know, I am a high school student and I am poor. So, you know, I have, you know, simple, you know, die resins, the die Kaiser break rides. I mean, if you want to know how much of a joke this deck is, I'm running 1 copy of the reverse Diusha, and I'm running 3 copies of the 10K vanilla. Well, not 10K vanilla, but it's basically, it's the Super Dimensional Robo Diusha. It's the oldie but goodie. I will be going and getting more serious with this deck as time goes on. I'm also just kind of waiting for them to get some more support, because I built the deck right after We Are Trinity Dragon dropped, and I was not very happy because of the fact of I just couldn't pull the Dimaxes. And then now, with Dimax being so high in price, I'm just kind of waiting for it to drop to a reasonable price so I can buy my 4 copies. And then this might be just a little thing with the decks, but I like to go and buy 1 special variant of each card if I can help it. So yeah, that does mean what it sounds like. I do want to buy 1 copy of the SP Dimax. That sounds ludicrous. You are correct. I will have a deck profile if you guys are interested. It's kind of, you know, as I said, you know, it's a joke. So, you know, when I do have the deck profile, keep in mind it's a cheap one, and it's meant to be, you know, just have fun with, to get a concept of how things work. Second deck that I have right here, the second one, is a deck that I hold dear to my heart, and that is my Spike Brothers deck. And I'm not one for football. I really, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the game. I mean, I was. I like watching it once in a while, but it's I have some personal reasons why I've just kind of driven away from the game. But Spike Brothers right here, every card of this deck I've either pulled or I was given to by a friend, and most of the cards were given to me by friends. If you want to know what variant it is Dudley. It is not Rising Nova, because Rising Nova is I don't know how to explain it really well. It's just that I just didn't have the cards for Rising Nova, 1, and 2, it just felt like you were really choking to go and do what the deck wanted to do. Dudleys, on the other hand, they do a lot of things, but they just don't do it well enough. But I don't mind it, because I thought that they were really cool. So yeah, and then I just had a ton of cards for them. Just a little background. Well, the set that got me really into the game was GBTO8, GBTO9 were the 2 big ones that I was pulling lots of. I was buying boxes for those, like, out of my butt. And so I have a ton of, like, Dudley Little Roads, King of Sadism, Dudley, you know, what's his... Caligula? I don't even know how to say his last name. You know, and then, you know, always the MVP, Juggernaut Maximum. Gotta have that double. But, deck means a lot to me. This one is basically the best that I think I can make the Dudley deck. At the time being. I did try to make it a Hell Hard 8 variant, or like I like to call it the, you know, one and only win die kind of thing. You'll notice a trend with some of my decks. Lots of my decks are glass cannons, or if you don't know what a glass cannon is, think about it in a idiom term, where it's a cannon but it's made out of glass. So if it fires wrong, it's gonna break. But there's those times, you know, you get lucky. The next deck I have is a deck that is very, very, very special to me. And, you know, I said that about Spike Brothers, but this one's a little bit different. So the next one I have, it is a Murakumo deck, and it's my Hayaki Zora deck. Not Hayaki Zora, but where is he? It's a Hayaki deck. Where's the reverse guy? It's Hayaki Vola Reverse. Okay. So, the reason why this deck means a lot to me is because of the fact of, my friend owned it. And his name is, you know, I'll just keep him, you know, classified for now, so, you know, he doesn't feel anxious. But he was going off to college, and he just was like, I'm out of money, I need money really bad. So he sold some of the higher pricing cards of the deck, and then he gave it to me, whatever was left. That kind of sounds like a rude thing to do, but he bought all the cards for it, he made it, and when he was using it, like, he saw how much I lit up when I played against it, and then he let me play it a few times, and I just fell in love with it. I was having such a fun time, and so he gave me the deck, and the only cards worth anything were the grade 3s, the Hayakis, not the GBT10 bulk, but the old ones, the reverse. And then, like, some of the G units, not really. Like, the GB8 was a few bucks. And then these Yasui Gomas, the stride that flips and then calls. That one. The rest of the deck. He also had the countercharging Perfect Guard in here. That's $8 a copy. So I bought the cards back, and I built the deck again, and I'm loving it more than ever. I use this deck probably more than the deck I bring to tournaments. It's just such a fun deck, and if you guys see when I do make the deck profile for this one, you guys will see why I like the deck so much, but I can just like explain it a little bit right now. It's got Kakashi sleeves on it, and yes, if you have not come to this channel and realized, hey, this guy loves anime, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I love the hell out of my Naruto. Okay, I love it. And Kakashi, oh baby, Kakashi, one of my favorites. And so I got Kakashi sleeves on here for that, you know, Shatokurun Jutsu. And, you know, it's so much fun. I would rather probably cut off my pinky, or like cut off maybe a pointer finger. Pointer finger I like. Maybe my ring finger and my pinky I'd cut off than to lose this deck. So I will not part with this deck if I can help it. So that's that one. The deck after this one is it's kind of a meme. Again, this one I built because I had fun with it. It started off as a joke, and then it developed into something that I could not control, to the point where I was like, oh wow, this deck is actually not bad. And that is my Bermuda Triangle Shushu deck. Most people realize that, like, they're like, oh yeah, Shushus are okay, you know, and yeah, the deck's not finished. I am missing a couple copies of that, the one grade 4. I think I have one because I pulled it. But I have, you know, I got some Livias and stuff like that, and just the deck is just, it's entertaining to play. And that's what I love about the game is, yeah, there's some decks that just work well and they play well, but then there's decks that just, like, yeah, they might not play well, but they're a lot of fun to play. And yeah, you can call me that weeaboo all you want. I don't care. In my opinion, as long as I don't go around spouting, hey, Lamau, them lollies, beat my meat, I think I'm still okay. I'm still sane. But I just love this deck. It started off as a joke to my friends, like, oh, dude, I'm going to buy the trial deck. And they're like, oh, really? Bet. And yeah, it kind of evolved from there. So, yeah. I think that this deck it has a lot of potential. I can see it with the support it got from the last set and its trial decks. You know, it's a strong deck. The sad thing is, you know, like every Bermuda deck, by the time next year comes around where they get more support, they're going to be really lacking in the materials they need. But I think after one more box of support, this deck is going to be, you know, really good. It's going to be probably where Prisms were back in the day. They were like in the top tier. You know, I would like to see another Bermuda deck in the top tier, just because of the fact of it being so strong with the confirmation of Anji being able to go and bounce locked cards. That's insane. So I would like to see, you know, any Bermuda deck. I don't care if they're like, hey, you know, we're going to choose Pacifica and we're going to buff them. Okay, you know what? Bushi knows best. You know, maybe not. Like, why do you give Luard Belial? But, you know, there's nothing you can do. So, Chochwoes are, you know, my fully meme deck. That's a deck that I just enjoy. The last deck I have on me is the one I cherish the most. And that's this one right here. If you guys can't hear, it is inside one of those towers from Ultra Pro. Because, yes, this deck requires a lot of care. And the remaining deck is none other than my Nova Grappler Victor Rush deck. Okay. And yes, this deck's been through a lot with me. It's been through quite a bit. So, a little fun fact about me. I got into the game about 2 years ago, and the first thing I did was I was getting taught by one of my good friends, and we refer to him as the Blue King, or now as the Blue God. And he taught me at a birthday party that I was with my friends about how to play. Shortly after this birthday party, I went to a convention called Anime Central. It is in Chicago. I don't remember what center it is. I got lanyards I could probably pick up and show you guys one of these times. But I went there and I bought a case. Not a case. It was, I think it was like a box or two of a set from, I don't remember, it was some kind of Crimson whatever, but it was EBO4. And if you guys or anybody watching knows the numbers, that is before G, 1, 2, that was the little clan booster for Nova Grapplers, and that's all that was in there, was a ton of them. So me not really knowing the rules too well, I assembled a deck with what I had, and you know, faced my friends off of it. Yeah, we fixed it, you know, and everything. But the funny thing is I've never had problems with triggers. Due to the box, for some odd reason, I might have dropped a trigger or two or something like that, but I only had 16 triggers and I had 4 heals right off the hop. I didn't have any problems with triggers, like too many, too little. It was weird. But aside from that, like I was running such a weird deck. It was like a mix of Gold Rutile, Death Army, Mr. Incredible. It was insane. Like, I was trying to main Death Army, and then I would ride to my Gold Rutile, and it was just, it was something else. And ever since then, just Nova Grapplers have a special place in my heart. I've just always loved the clan. I loved what they do, and so once I heard that they were getting support in GBT10, I was like, I'm going in. GBT10 was amazing, because it was the day of my birthday. Everything was ready. The April promo was, you know, Severed Temper. I was hyped. I was set. And the night that I pulled from GBT10, I pulled not my first, it was my second ever SP pack, but it was the SP pack of Nova Grapplers. So I got, you know, one copy of Extreme, one copy of Excessive, you know, I got everything that I needed to start it, you know. Not everything, but I got a little bit. And then from the boxes I pulled, I think I pulled, so I got the 1SP Excessive, and then I got one copy other of Excessive, and then I had, you know, all these other cards. And then my friends, you know, gave me Arboreal. I had cards from the old EBO4 set, and, you know, I built a deck, and I started to win. Like, it was amazing how much I was, like, really developing. And so, this is the deck I did bring to regionals. I mean, I guess you can tell just by me saying Anime Central, I am in the Chicago area. So the nearest regionals to me is Indianapolis. I might have a story about that in another video. But this deck brought me great joy, but also great sorrow. I was very sad how it performed, but it was also me being an inexperienced player to a regional event. Also, I just, you know, bad matchups, you know, not everything can go your way. That's fine. But there's so many memories about this deck that I have. There's so much about it. I'm never going to forget it. I'm never going to let it go. I'm never going to sell it. And this is another deck that I would rather trade my pinky and my, you know, ring finger. Hell, maybe even my middle finger for this one. But this one I will be able to have a deck profile, and it won't change until Novas get more support. And that is something that I'm very proud of to say. Other decks that I have are, I'm in the works of building a Grand Blue 7 Seas Rush. Now that one's a little difficult, because the way I build decks is different than most people build decks. I know a lot of people that just look up deck profiles and whip up a deck, and they're like, sweet. To me, I don't like doing that. What I like doing is I like going on TCG Player. I look at every card that exists for a clan, and I pick out what I need. I make my deck list from there, and then I grab any card that I can that makes the deck legal, but it has to have at least the basis of it. And so after I get the basis, I grow it. I go and start off with this small deck that, you know, it's tournament legal and I can use it. It might not work the best way. It might be missing a thing or two. It might not even be able to countercharge or something. But I build off of it. And, you know, it gets better and better and better and better. So right now it's in the mid stage. I'm thinking about trying. I know that one of my friends has a copy of the Slash Shade. Not the. Is it Slash Shade? It's the Great Swordsman. And then he's also got a copy of Night Runner, which I can still run on the deck. That one I might not be able to go and show for a while because that deck's getting built really slowly. It just got a lot of things going on right now. Another deck that I have, just quickly switching off to another one. It's not one I really have. It's one that I gave. A deck that I made, and it was very successful, was... it wasn't the, you know, Scourge Point version, but it was the Fulgurite deck. That deck I was very proud of making, and it took me a lot of effort to do, but that one was fully done. I had my, you know, Radiant Swords, I had my Golden Holy Swords, everything. It was a very, very nice deck. There's a story with that one, why I don't own it anymore. Basically, one of my friends had a problem, and he basically, a ton of his cards got stolen, and I saw how much he cared for that deck, and I decided it was the best move. So currently it's dismantled. I plan on reviving it in a new light. I don't know if that new light will be Garamore, or if I'll choose to turn it into, there's that old ride chain that he had, that he gave me, and I'll see how that rolls. I might run that deck. We'll see. It all just is trial and error. Another deck that I currently, this one I do own, is, it's not amazing. I mean, I think you guys have seen the trend, you know, after my main decks, you know, they're kind of just iffy decks. You guys can go and trash on me for having that, I don't mind. but I have a let's see. I wouldn't call it blue wave. It is blue wave, but you know, it's not the purest of pure blue wave, and I'm not really running it the way you're supposed to. I know that you're like, this deck was the second deck I built in my entire life. This deck was like really fun, and I just was like having a fun time building it. Like I was running like Dolphin Soldier of the Leaping Windy Seas. I have a little cheat sheet right here. I got the card right here. And it's that Thavis stand. I was running it, you know, because I had one Thavis stride, and, you know, I was, ugh. I look back at those days, and you really start to wonder what the heck was wrong with you. But, you know, the deck, you know, I got my, the Blue Wave stride. I got, you know, I actually do have a G-Zone. It's not some just hosh-posh thrown together. It's not bad, you know, but it's not mind-boggling or anything. That's basically it. I decided to do this video just because I wanted to do something other than CFA. I know that that's all we've posted so far. And the other reason why I wanted to was just give you some pretext about not only myself, but what I know. I know that in the future, you know, more people might watch what CFA I've done, you know, and stuff like that. And yeah, go ahead, you can ridicule me about some things. But I mean, like, this is just to show the decks that I've built, to know, like, hey, I know how to build this, or hey, I know how this kind of works, you know. And then there's other, like, my friends have decks and stuff like that, and I think in the upcoming months I'll try to start posting some deck profiles just to show you, like, you know, how we build our decks and how it's going. I'll try to do that soon. I'm gonna see if that happens either next week or the week after that. So I think that's everything. That's all my decks. And if anyone's wondering, it's my deck list. Again, I'll be doing the deck profiles next week. So I think that's everything. So I'll see you guys in the next video. The next video should be a CFA. I promised Nick that we would do that one, and then after that, I think that we'll be getting into our first deck profile. That's either going to be next week, Monday, or I'm going to fit it in for Wednesday. That's going to be our first one. And if you guys want, leave in the comments below. Try to guess what the deck profile will be. I told you all mine. Just from seeing on CFA, Nick does own some of those decks he's used on CFA. I own a few of them that I've used on CFA. You guys just saw what I own. So, you know, that's about everything. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Right,